Be very quiet.
We're hunting rabbits.
Well, this is terrible, whatever it's supposed to be.
Well, it's your panel, so.
Yes.
We have offerings.
Yes, we do have offerings.
Whoa, okay.
We bring forth.
Welcome to the Ahsoka Q&A panel. You can ask her anything you want, and she will not answer.
If you, however, she can answer questions about the roof.
Yes.
She is the roof.
Just wow. Okay. Naomi, can you go grab me 2 cups from the water station back there, please?
Give forth the offerings.
Yes.
I know you were getting the beer, bro. You're not wearing your
I was told I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah.
Bring forth the offerings.
I'm just going to put these up here for you.
What in the offerings?
Why do you not spill my alcohol?
I've heard these are very good. I heard these are very good.
They're apple cookie pies.
Ooh, that sounds so good.
They were good.
You're getting so
They're the cookies I asked about the bake sale for.
What other con chair gets gifts like that?
I mean, hopefully all of them.
Well, you would hope, but you know, these are from the.
I wouldn't do this the contrary con I go to.
Which is the funny I say.
Well, listen, just in case these are drugged, it's been nice on them. Oh my God, but it was worth it.
As long as those.
Yes. I've lost my better half. There she is. Hi, Michelle.
Sorry, I was busy running the convention while Charlie was in here screwing around.
It's true. She really does all the work. All the credit she got.
The specters is the offering as well as the can.
That's the beer plus the root beer.
I swear to God, I walked out here with an open can of beer. I don't know what happened.
It's good shit.
No, open can of beer. Open
It
can.
compares to the from
Man, whatever.
What?
Like Charlie.
He does not want a Bud Light seltzer. Get out
Are
of
you
here.
kidding me?
Hey, I had a Corona for you at the thing.
For me?
Yeah.
I didn't ask you to have a Corona.
I don't like beer, and you know that. I had it for you. Yeah.
But a seltzer is
You
not
got it,
beer.
Sil?
You hear the crash?
Seltzer is not beer, it's
Yeah.
carbonated.
Could you have a grab me a
What did you expect?
Wait, what was that?
It's piss beer.
My buddy calls it.
No, that's Bud
piss.
Yeast?
Bud Light is what happens after I drink real beer. After 8, right? Okay, yeah.
It's after 9, you mean?
What type of convention are we at?
Yes.
Charlie one, why do you ask? Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Conchair Chat. It's little mini apple pies. They're delicious.
This is stranger danger food.
No.
Okay, I was going to do
Michelle, I have it right here. I have one and I've got that.
He's dead. Oh no, he's dead.
He's not quite dead. He's
No, he wanted to be stone dead in a moment.
It's really hot though, right? Yeah. Like disgustingly hot.
If I didn't know any better, it's almost like you guys are having a good weekend.
Charlie, 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 Charlie.
This is the only panel where that's okay.
It's not okay because without my paycheck, this does not exist. Stranger danger food.
Hey, Michelle.
But they're really good at it. And almost certainly not poisonous.
Michelle got the louder cheer, so.
Yeah, thank you.
I can sing.
Oh, God.
It's, oh, you ate it?
All of us did, we're alive.
Okay, if Ox ate it, I'll eat it. If Charlie eats it, that isn't. Charlie's dad one time went to a festival in Red Rock, Colorado, and his dad is like the the loveliest.
He's
of
like
humans.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, like honestly, he like every time we see him, he's like, "Gee golly darn, you guys!" So he goes to this festival with his wife and. They meet some hippies. This is like way back in the day. And so his wife had packed like a picnic with like fried chicken and everything, and they were eating it, and the people next to them were like, had the munchies real hard. So they offered to trade Charlie's dad some brownies. And Charlie's dad was such a sweet summer child that he made the trade.
He's like, oh sure, I love brownies.
And just got stoned out of his mind. I could not figure out like why he could smell color. And that is Charlie. Charlie would eat the brownies and be like, Michelle, I can feel purple.
Hold on, I got one better. Charlie, can you smell the color 9?
Not currently, no. Which means these are safe.
Oh my god, they have an apple on top.
Try it. It's fine.
So this is supposed to be the Conjure Chat.
It's really good.
It's the Food Network chat now.
That's what we're calling it.
I would thrive there. Another fun story. I used to not be able to cook my way out of a wet paper bag if both ends
Just
were
hang on
open.
real quick. While you're talking, I need you to open this because the Worthwhile Events panel knows what happens apparently when I open the pins up here.
Me too. And the table smelled like it. The
For those who weren't there, I had a bottle that I opened at the Worthwhile Events panel last night, and I was just like, pop it. I was just like, I'm just gonna throw it all over myself.
Oh my god.
I used to not be able to cook at all. Like to the
That's true.
point
It's
where
very
like if Charlie came home and I was cooking, it was like a mad panic moment. Like one time I was like, he came home and he was like, why does it smell like food in here? And I'm like, oh, I'm making taco night. And he was like, what the fuck do you...
Are we allowed to use that language at this hour?
What do you mean you're making tacos? And literally at that moment, so I was making a bag of microwaved rice, and step one was tear to vent. And we didn't make that happen. And so like literally he goes, what do you mean you're making tacos? And the microwave explodes. And like he just wears rice. And I was like, surprise! And then one time I tried to make him a cake. One time I tried to make him a cake. And he comes into the kitchen, I'm screaming because it said 2 sticks of butter, so I just threw like 2 cold sticks of butter in the blender.
Oh, no.
In the fetal position, and butter was just shooting around our house. But then I slept with the Food Network on for a full year and like learned to cook through osmosis. And Charlie comes home one night and he was like, what have you done? And I'm like, well, here you will find, and like cooked this entire gourmet meal, and like it. Now I'm like the best cook in the world, and literally, I recommend it for anyone. Sleep with the Food Network on. You'll learn how to cook.
Yeah. I say we take donations from
Yes,
Michelle's
Dash
cooking.
can attest to my cooking. Yes. Yes.
She and her mom made amazing tacos today.
Hey, Michelle, for that little language blender.
I don't know what that means.
That means you in trouble.
No, it means I'm cautioning you.
What happens after the yellow card?
Red card, you're out.
And then do you guys have to call me daddy?
No. What? What? I don't understand the reference.
What is happening?
That's not what a red card is.
I don't.
I think you broke Charlie.
Michelle,
Chat after dark.
Michelle, explain.
Welcome to the confused Conjure Chat.
So let's start the contrary panel. So because you all chant my name so often, I know you're all here to clearly see me.
Michelle,
Actually quite lovely. Although I do think our dog is more horse famous than Charlie is. She has a bully stick. She cares about nothing else.
I got a stick. You can't stop me. Nothing else.
So anyways, hi, we're the Conjuring. We've been waiting to see like what was gonna go wrong in this convention, and I think it might be this.
Okay, hang on. I have to ask. Is there anyone in this room who is very confused right now? Please put your hand up. You are not confused. Okay, so there's some people who's confused. So, hi, my name is Charlie Worthley. I'm the convention chair of Ponyville Ciderfest 2022.
Charlie!
And I can't stop that no matter how much And I can't make that happen more how much I want to.
For those of you who've listened to the Flame Theory music, all of the songs that sound like they're very angry about somebody who did somebody wrong, they're all about me.
It's actually true.
Some of them are about Steak and Shake, but most of them are about
That's actually true.
Oh my
I
god.
haven't gotten to that point.
No, yeah. I was much more feminine back then.
So, as you probably have discerned, this panel is very unstructured.
Wait, I didn't introduce myself yet.
Oh, sorry.
No one knows who I am.
Your daddy.
Daddy!
But Dad,
Why is that a thing now?
Ceremonies, I will take all of my money back.
You need to do it.
What?
Just yell dad at Michelle. No.
Absolutely not. Although, unless it pays for Ahsoka's medical bills.
Poor Charlie. Look at Charlie.
This is a regular occurrence in our house.
He is completely
I'm
lost.
Michelle. I'm the vice chair. I'm also the guest relations director and the hospitality department.
My name is Charlie. I have regrets.
We are 14 minutes in and we finally got through the introduction.
It's a new Academy record.
I think this is the wildest. It's like TrotCon in here.
Anyway, come to TriCon.
Anyways, definitely go to TrotCon. What'd you say?
The TrotCon
The
story.
bathroom mold, or is it? No.
Wait. Explain.
I don't know if they're still. Are they still in the hotel? The
At least for the
hotel
last year. I don't
is a
know.
little dicey for those of you who've been there. Like, it's not the cleanest hotel you've ever been to. So our first year at TrotCon, I go to, like in the women's bathroom. There's just like mold growing up the.
Oh.
So somebody, definitely not me, because it's probably a felony, took a Sharpie and like drew a line at the top of the mold, and now every year we just keep drawing new lines.
That's disgusting.
Mold just continues
That's
to grow after a while.
I want to be very clear. This is nothing against TrotCon. This is something against Ohio.
It's definitely
It's true.
TrotCon. It's definitely Ohio.
Hey, at least it's not Cleveland.
I mean,
Fun towns in Cleveland again.
So send all of your tweets to Kevin at TrotCon.
no, don't. He's out. He's done.
I
Don't
know,
bother
that's
him.
the best part.
Oh, come on.
I believe it's KR Trot at no.
I think you deactivated that account. No, I don't.
Okay. Cheer.
Yeah.
God cheer.
Concheer.
Okay, so this is clearly a very unstructured panel.
And obviously.
And thank God it's after 9.
Yeah.
I am never appropriate for prior to 9 p.m.
Not family friendly, no.
No.
Does anyone have any questions about conventions or running conventions or why we do this to ourselves?
I saw Zebroni first.
Yes.
And you win the
The
cheers.
whole con thing at all?
Who even are you
I
people?
hear you.
Decide on you to be the con chair.
I missed the first part,
How
sorry.
did Worthley events decide on you to be the con chair? Did you have to apply?
Yeah, there was a rigorous examination. Interview. What's the word?
We don't talk about that.
Uncanny that their
Tell me
last
about
name
your
is also
HR
the last name
department.
of the organization.
I know, right?
Conspiracy, I tell you.
It seems like a conspiracy.
Let's not get into
And then
that.
our last names match each other. Literally, somebody came up to me today, and they've never been here before, and they were like, "Oh, you're one of the organizers, so cool." And I was like, "Yeah. Do you want to meet the other one? He's right here. This is Charlie Worthley." And then she goes, "Oh, are you guys like brother and sister?"
Roll, Tide, roll.
And I'm like, no, this isn't TrotCon.
No, Trump is too far north of that. That would be that Missouri convention. Hi! What are you doing? Hi! This is What are you guys?
Oh, hi, guys.
Oh, we're just checking in.
Okay, everybody
This is our best
behave. Act
behavior.
like we've been being reasonable human beings.
But you have been.
We're so sorry, first of all.
Everybody sit up straight. At attention, please. We have guests of honor in the room. Nobody called me daddy. Don't.
Burgers on the grill.
We need more beer for that.
Oh my God.
Hey Charlie, do you want me to get the good beer brought for you?
I think this will last me for the next 10
minutes.
However long. Okay. So next question.
We were doing questions. There were
answers.
Yes, Crystal. No, not Crystal.
I'm gonna ask if you guys are going on vacation after this. What exciting things are you gonna do?
Oh, we're going on vacation in January. It's our 15th wedding anniversary. It depends on Ahsoka. Hopefully she's doing well by then. If she is, we plan to go to, obviously we're going to Disney World.
She will be. Just think that. She will be. Just think that way.
So we plan to go to Disney World in January, but until then, it's very busy at my work. I start our spring planogram like literally the day that I get home from this. So yeah, and that goes like up through Christmas.
Do you guys ever sleep?
Sleep?
Night.
Yeah.
I know.
What is this?
What is the sleep you speak
I'll
of?
find out for you. I'll find out for
We
you.
actually got like a full night's sleep last night. We like fell asleep really early. We both woke up this morning and we're like, oh my god, it's 10 o'clock, and like grabbed our phones. We were like, how is everything okay? How is everything? And it was totally fine. So
It's
our
almost
staff
like we have a very functional volunteer
yeah,
team.
our volunteer team is doing.
Volunteers! 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 Volunteers!
Okay, yes, it's a top hat.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, polar. That's not a top hat. That is polar.
dare you, sir.
How dare I?
It's all right.
So obviously, 9 years ago, you weren't here with Charlie.
I was here.
You were?
Well, we were attendees at the first Ciderfest.
9 years ago, Charlie tricked me into coming to Ciderfest because he told me it was a beer festival. It's a true story. Do you remember the old hotel? So like I'm like, oh, beer festival, and we go up those escalators, you know, and like it opens up, and there was just all these dudes dressed like ponies, and I was like, what the?
Are we sure, Dr.
Like the best time of I became like instant best friends with Peter New that day. We hung out like all night long. I think you were there, right? You were in the bathtub. Yeah.
Wait, what?
next week.
Oh, that wasn't next year.
We have to talk about
Chelsea, speaking of TubCon, we were packing
No,
the
we don't talk about that.
we were packing the truck to come here and literally found a piece of the tub signed by Jen Blake and Peter New in our garage.
Oh God, that sounds like a Jim Blake thing.
Anyways, what's your question?
I was gonna say, obviously, when you first came here, you were
Freaked out.
adverse to
Freaked out.
what was going on.
Yeah.
And after everything's happened now, where we're at now, how are you now?
I think by the time I left that weekend, I was like sold on bronies. Like it was such a positive experience. I often say like, for me, I think the beginning was I was in this room, like a bar, just filled with dudes, and like 100% respected the entire time, and that had never happened for me like in my whole life. So I was kind of sold on just like the coolness of bronies, and also there were so many like heartwarming stories. Our one of our first experiences was like a mom who came in with her son, and he had just turned 18, and he had never kind of tried an event like this on his own, and she was like really worried that he wouldn't be able to do it, and so she sat in her car for 12 hours outside the hotel so he could like try it by himself. And she had asked if would it be okay if he had any problems, if he could come and grab us, and we were like for sure. And he did really great. And then at the karaoke panel, they hadn't called his name yet, and so he was having a hard time. So he came and got me and was like, I don't understand why they haven't called my name. So we went up and they explained the list, and he was super happy, and he did his karaoke, and then he like ran and hugged his mom and was like, I had the best day. Like it's like those things like happened to us throughout the weekend. It was like it was just like such a positivity high, and like I maybe was like halfway sold, but when we left, Charlie was like so enamored with everything that like, I was sold because he was so sold. And then every year I think something happens in the fandom that just like makes you want to keep this going and come back. However, some of you really tick me off sometimes when you don't follow the rules, and then we get a little crabby. No, I'm just kidding. She's
not kidding.
No, it's just everybody here is so cool and so loving. Like we were just talking about on Thursday when we were doing setup, and we have like a chat that all of our different channels are in, and whatever team would be starting up would be like, okay, we have to unload a truck, like who can be here? And like no less than 4 people immediately would be like, we're on our way down to help. Like everyone's just so helpful and gracious, and our volunteers are so amazing, and our attendees are so amazing, and we've watched so many people like blossom and like become who they really were meant to be, and just like kind of like change into the person that like they always should have been. And I think that's like life-changing for us. Like there have just been so many amazing transitions in this fandom, so I think that's why we do it.
It goes both ways. You guys have done so much for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This place is my second home. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
I mean, just going off of that, I just have to share this story. So there was this father at just the very last Windy City who was there with his son.
Oh my God, I love this man.
Yes. His son had some social difficulties and had trouble like talking to people, connecting with people, and I forget exactly how it happened.
He was a Disney fan.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
he started talking to us about Disney, so we talked to him for like the longest time.
Yeah, and
his dad was like videotaping us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was just kind of like off to
Very
the side,
respectfully.
letting the son like do his thing and like try and like experience the convention on his own, just kind of hanging out in the background in case he needed help. But it was just like he came up to us afterwards, and he was just like so emotional. He was just like, "Thank you so much for like treating my son like a normal human being," just because like the son had those difficulties, and just like and we're just like but that's not just us. That's
what it is.
That's you all. That's everybody here.
That's just what it's like here. Like that's just who we are as a group. So.
Here.
Yeah. Okay, more questions.
Dilly.
Right here.
Yeah.
Speaking of Disney, I need to know what's your favorite thing to do at Disney World?
Ooh, that's hard. Probably Epcot around the world, because we do that on our anniversary day every year. So that's probably our favorite thing.
January 18th. Watch me get drunk on Twitter.
The nighttime show that I think meant the most to me throughout my life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we like some of the fireworks shows. I think that's our favorite. We like a what are the swings called?
Swings?
The swings that we take from like hotel to the.
The skyline?
Yeah. The Skyliner. We like
Swings.
we like a Skyliner pub crawl. I'm not calling on Dashu. That seems like a trap, right?
It was him, not me.
Yes.
All right. First, we'll do the fox, and then we'll go to you.
Okay.
Who's your favorite Disney character?
Oh boy.
Well, okay. So we have like movie character favorites, and then we have like parks character favorites.
What about television character
So
favorites?
screen favorites and then park
Yeah.
favorites. Yeah.
What's you go first?
So my screen favorite is Stitch.
Okay.
I think probably both of us. I think probably our park favorite character is Figment.
Yes. Yes. My screen favorite are Chip and Dale, and my park favorite is Figment.
You would get along with
Figment. Yes.
I like Sunny Eclipse.
We like. Oh, Sunny Eclipse is amazing. We always do a visit to him. Yes. Yes. In the best.
Are you ever planning to go to Amsterdam for vacation?
We do want to do a European convention. I have to travel to Europe.
Not run one. Just to be very clear.
You guys got really excited. Absolutely not. I have to
That's when the
travel
real
to Europe
Ciderfest
for
is
work
happening.
a lot, and Charlie will come with, and we'll like hang out on the weekend. So we're trying to like line that up once with a. I heard the Holland pony convention was pretty lit, so I don't know. Maybe we'll try
Gallipon's
that.
always pretty good too, from what I heard.
The UK one was awesome.
You get Galcon.
Really
Yeah, I'd love
My
to.
question was not con related, just for
Oh.
vacation.
So-
Charlie's been there.
So in like when I was way before Pony, like I think in like 2001, I did like a European tour with my family, and at the time, there's just a friend of mine. And I spent I think like 2 nights in Amsterdam, and it was a gorgeous city, loved it, and would love to go back now that I'm of legal age to imbibe. But yeah, would love
Yeah,
to.
I don't think it's on our immediate European list, but probably up there.
Okay.
Yes?
Actually, this is kind of a bit of a different thought. Like, it's kind of been obvious that Charlie was the one who dragged you into this whole thing. How did you actually join the Brony fandom? Like, how did you get started?
Oh my god. Such a good story. He
So,
was in denial for
it's-
such a long time.
So was I. I'm like,
Same story for all of us.
So this story is actually, I feel like it's very common. Like, I feel like a lot of you are going to be like, yeah, me too. So I started, I lived on the internet, right? So I started hearing about bronies and like, it was, oh, this is the thing, apparently, a lot of people like this new My Little Pony show. And I just like, I am interested in things that are popular on the internet. And so I started just being interested in checking it out on my own, and then just like randomly channel surfing one day, I come across the Hearts of Tuesday episode. And I'm just like, oh, this is weird, which is season 2, I think.
Yep.
And all of a sudden I'm just like, I'm watching this like monosyllabic red pony, like on this date with this other pony. I'm just like, I don't know what's happening here, but it's hilarious. So then, of course, I found I found it on Netflix, and then I'm just like, I'm just gonna watch the first episode, which was a cliffhanger. So then I had to watch the second episode, and then I
he's
was
like,
just hooked.
he goes like, do you wanna, like, I'm gonna watch My Little Pony, do you wanna watch? And I was like, oh, I watched My Little Pony when I was a kid, like, I love it. And it was completely different. But it was cool because they dealt with so many, like, older and, like, contemporary issues, and it was so feminist. I was, like, you know, super into it. And then one day, I had, like, a hair appointment, and I'm getting ready to leave on, like, a Saturday morning, and Charlie's like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm gonna get my hair done. And he was like, but the show's on.
God, that's what
So then he like explained to me what bronies were, and I was like, "Oh, are you a brony?" And he was like, "Oh, no." and so then he was like getting more and more into the show, and so then he was like talking to my mom about it. So then she bought him like a My Little Pony wallet, and he was like, "Oh, tell your and like a T-shirt." And he was like, "Why am I gonna wear that T-shirt? Like, tell your mom not to buy me ponies."
It was
I'm
like
not a brony.
it was like the shirt that says brony with like the silhouette of
I'm not a brony, like I'm not, like 10 pounds, right? And so, but he starts carrying the wallet. Then, like maybe like a month later, he like wears the T-shirt, and I was like, oh, what's this? And he was like, oh, I'm just wearing it at home. Like I don't know gonna wear it. Until like maybe a month later, like we're getting ready to go out to a brewery, and he's just like full on wearing this T-shirt, and I was like, well, like are we a brony now? And he was like, yeah, I'm a brony. alone for a long
Who else can relate? Go ahead. Yeah. My people. Yeah.
Except it was my parents.
More questions. Tails, this seems scary.
Who's your favorite VIP guest that you ever met?
What's that?
My favorite VIP guest that
But there are two of them here.
Choose your words wisely.
It has to be a tie between Andrea Liv and
I'm
Murray.
I handled for a while. Like, that's kind of how they got me into staffing, is that they were like, well, you're not a fan, so you're the right person to like be in guest relations because you're not just gonna spaghetti all over these poor people. So.
That's not a joke. The best handlers are the people who
I have
aren't
no
fans.
idea. Like my actual like real life work staff helps us in guest relations because they have like literally no idea what's going on and they're just like, cool, like I'm just gonna walk some people around for a day. So I handled for John Delancey once. That was a wild ride. We had like a 3 a.m. moment, and so I think there's like a special place in my heart for John Delancey because he caused me such strife for 3 days.
I will never forget the moments where we're all up in like an area where like the
We're all
guests
just
are
like hanging out,
we're
like
just all
a
hanging
room.
out, and all of a sudden the door flies open.
And you know, John Delancey's voice is Discord's voice, right?
Yeah, it's like one of the
Yeah.
deepest voices I've ever heard.
Literally, just the door flies open, and 2 seconds later, you just hear, "Michelle, why does it smell like a boys' locker room in here?"
I was told like make sure that he's fully snacked because if he's hungry, there will be wandering and it will not go well for you. So I checked into this man's room myself and I filled it with snacks, right? And don't I it's 1 a.m. and I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna go to sleep, and I get the call from security.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
We have a John Delancey emergency in the lobby.
Oh no.
So I'm coming down the escalator and security is running up the escalator and I was like, this cannot be good. And he literally got hungry, so he went searching for snacks and he was in the lobby and he was like swarmed by people and our security staff was like, we don't know what to do. I literally had to elbow my way through this crowd and I get to the middle and I'm like, everybody 3 steps back, and they all just go quiet and step backwards, and I'm like, what are we doing? And he looks at me and he was like, I wanted snacks. I'm like, I filled your room with snacks. I wanted hot snacks.
Oh my God.
And we had the longest conversation about the disappearance of John Ramsey, and that was a real highlight.
Oh my God.
Any other questions? Yes, right here. The lovely snack makers.
Yes.
Yes.
So I've got 2 parts because he's got a quick one. Did you get your cheese back from Andrea Libman?
Yes.
Actually, I ended up.
All right.
Thank you.
She did try to steal our cheese.
We heard.
I was really tempted.
She
didn't
didn't,
eat it.
That is impressive self-control.
And the second one is something that me and some friends were talking about because this hotel is so pet friendly.
Yeah.
And this con does themes. Have you thought about a pet theme?
So.
It's a little tricky to just have a ton of pets in convention spaces because you just never know how a lot of animals are gonna react, and you don't want
Literally, the first thing I was thinking of was allergies.
Yeah.
Who has them and who doesn't?
Actually, last year we had
Chaos,
a rule, no
I
pets
wouldn't be able to go to the
and
No.
we just weren't sure how it would go, and then we really were worried. We didn't want to bring her because we weren't sure, but she obviously can't be left alone, so big deal. And she goes to sleep.
We want her here.
She can also never not come.
Yeah.
I don't know. Once she's like back to her energetic puppy self, that's like 70 pounds of energy.
We can take her.
She has a lot of babysitters here though, so.
Yes.
Plus, it's like so. On that note, though, it's interesting because when we're picking a theme for an event, like there's reasons to pick a theme, and so like those reasons are like how do we form events around the theme? Like how do we come up with like outfits for the mascots around the theme? Like you have to be able to incorporate the theme into the convention in a way that's meaningful.
It would be tricky to dress Fizzy Glitch up like a dog. Yeah. We actually literally just picked the theme for Winnie City like today.
Oh.
I'm not gonna tell you. We did do that today. We were actually inspired by the vendor hall. We were walking through the vendor hall and one of the vendors had this like amazing setup and we were like, Winnie City theme? So yeah, we've got that happening, which is a step in the right direction.
Actually, I do have a question.
Okay, Dashu, but it better be a good question.
How did you come up with a theme for this year for Cider?
For this year,
Were you there?
you were literally there.
Tell the story.
Where were we? I don't remember.
Like in our hot tub.
What?
We don't talk about tub.
We were in our hot tub with Dashu.
I know somebody who's that.
So here's the thing. So especially with Ciderfest, like you all have probably noticed that like it's been important to us to be able to like shine a spotlight on different areas of the fandom. So we did the musicians, and then we took a break and did just like holidays, and then we did the cosplayers. And then we were just like, okay, we need to take a break, especially with like everything that's like going on with like new ownership and the new business and everything. Just like what's something simple. And I couldn't repeat the conversation.
I'm pretty sure it was
when got
me.
there.
I'm pretty sure I can.
Sure, fine, whatever.
No, it was Dashu. Dashu looks real mad. I think it was Dashu.
And so yeah, just Fall Festival just seemed like something that's.
It's like after Halloween, so you can't really go Halloween themed. But like, who doesn't love fall?
Yeah.
So
It was just something simple.
Next one will be a tricky one, but you'll have to come to closing ceremonies to hear about that. Okay.
It's the anniversary next year, right?
Apparently so.
Apparently, the attendees decided. So yes.
I've been drinking with you before, so it's kind of a
Me?
fall. Yes, remember I brought the good beer last year?
Go ahead.
I've had it worse than you, trust me. What is your favorite type of beer? I know you guys like
Me?
to drink. Both of you.
Coors Light.
Oh my God.
I mean, I do love craft beer, but like I love Coors Light.
You'll notice she hasn't touched the peanut butter porter.
No, I've been drinking.
Have you? Okay.
I would say if you're asking craft beer, I love a porter, particularly like a coffee or like a peanut butter porter. I'm not into like anything super creamy. Like those hazies can just like F right off.
Note to self, bring peanut butter.
I don't like milk stouts. Like I don't even like cream in my coffee. So
Nothing
I like
with
really
lactose,
strong
nothing
dark beers. Charlie likes the beer that's in front of him.
No, it's true. Like my favorite beer is the one I haven't tried yet. That's sort of like my line. I want to try as many different beers as possible. I've tried over 5,000 different beers.
Wow.
What?
He tracks them in an app. You can follow him.
What? There's an app for that?
It's like Coaster credits, but for beer.
Coaster credits for beer.
Charlie, his favorite beer is free. His next favorite beer is cold.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, because some of the dark beers you can't really drink cold. So.
Yeah, that's true. No, quite literally. So you probably will have heard of like either Foursquare or Swarm, which is where like you check into locations. There's an app called Untapped where you check into beers, and so that's how I kind of keep track of like what I've had. I've literally tried over 5,000 different individual beers.
Wow. Wow.
Over 8 years, I think.
Under 2
Fox?
Yeah, Charlie, have you ever tried a Roush beer?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. I love Snookers. Yeah, they're really good.
Up here in the flannel.
Any more word on what's going on with the Fizzy Glitch plushie?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so.
And the answer to that is shipping is stupid expensive.
Yeah. So here's the situation with the Fizzy plushies. The design of the Fizzy Glitch plushies is essentially done. There would have been, I'm sorry to say, Fizzy Glitch plushies at this convention this year, except for the supply chain issues in the world right now. Yeah. The shipping was just unmanageable. And I would have had to have sold those plushies for $80.
Yikes.
Even. So it was just we just had to put it off till it made more sense for us to do it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that things stabilize and make more sense for next year, but because they're freaking adorable, and I want to be able to give them to you all. But yes, we have not remotely given up. We just need the shipping situation to come back to.
I mean, you know my thoughts on plushie, but for those of you who've been here before, yes, right there.
Yes, earlier before there was already asked about how you became a brony, right? In brony fandom. I have actually an idea about something about that. Would it be a good idea to make an autobiography called Charlie's Worthley, The Road to the Brony Fandom?
Please? Our volunteers are dying.
I mean, I've already told literally the entire story, so I don't know what it would be. But
from start the first convention till the latest.
Okay.
Oh my god, the later or the blow up unicorn year? Who remembers the blow up unicorn year? The later Hosen was something special though.
Alright.
The later Hosen.
I will never remember, we had like a mini meltdown right before opening ceremonies. We had a very serious like leadership meeting behind main stage. Charlie and Corey are both in like blow up unicorns. They're like angry daddies with like their hands crossed and they're like, and like the unicorns are just bouncing. Hysterical.
Okay, so actually, I'm going to thank you for that. I'm gonna use that to transition into a question I was meaning to ask at this panel. So, I've brought something up, mostly in jest. I think like twice before, and it's it's been hard to gauge the response off of it because it was obviously like a joke when I brought it up previously, but I've been considering it a little more seriously recently, especially with our little money credit card gobbling little sweetheart over there. Yes, you.
Not me.
I've been sort of wondering about possibly bringing some more, income into the family, I guess is where I'm going with this. So, what we don't want to do is we've mutually decided, like, we don't want to ask for donations in regards to, like, Ahsoka's medical care, because, like, we don't want to change our lifestyle, and we feel weird about, like, asking for money and then going to Disney World. We just feel like that's a weird thing to do, and not so great. So
Yeah, that's fair.
Instead of that, I've just been trying to think of is there something of value that I could bring that people would be interested in supporting, and like, instead of just giving money for nothing, like, is there something like people would be interested in doing, like a Patreon for? So I've brought this up a couple times, just mostly as a joke, but now I'm actually going to ask you all, because you're here and you're apparently interested in what we have to say. If I/possibly we were to do...
Not we. No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Yes, Daddy.
I have a job. That is like...
So if I/possibly Daddy we're considering the idea of doing something along the lines of like a Patreon, where people who wanted to could support me/us/us. And in turn get content where they could possibly like I guess my primary thing that I could offer was be like actually like showing like actually how conventions are run and like organizing.
Yes.
Yeah. Now it wouldn't be fully to the level of like probably like fully teaching somebody how to run a convention.
Yeah.
Like you might not be able to walk away with
we have
like
a lot of NDAs
knowledge.
and things.
Yeah. But still, like it would be quite a bit of like how the sausage is made, so to speak. And
Sausage made.
you know the phrase. So really,
We are in Wisconsin.
well, how the cheese curd is made.
Yes.
But I mean, really seriously though, is that something that you guys think would be a good idea?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, of course these people are going to say yes. They came to listen to you talk.
Well, but I'm saying though, like,
You talk.
they're here for you apparently.
I know. I'm the funny one.
They're here.
It's just the best thing that's ever happened.
And you know the content and everything that would be offered would of course be driven by the people who would be chipping in and everything, and it's there would I still have a lot to figure out, but just in general, I just need you guys to tell me and please tell me if it is a dumb idea, because I feel like it is kind of a dumb idea, but at the same time, do you think this is something that people would actually be interested in?
I think they're being a little too critical. I think they definitely would be.
Yeah.
The manager's one, please.
And in my opinion,
No, can you look at the manager Slack, please? Thank you. Just running a con over here.
If I can be honest, it would be awesome to read what your own experience from your point of view would be from every con you went to. So that's why I say Charlie Worthley, the road to the family.
Absolutely not. That is not appropriate.
I understand what you're saying. What I certainly wouldn't do is talk negatively about our fellow conventions. I wouldn't want to do that for sure. But what I would want to do is kind of let people kind of talk and kind of live stream as I'm planning these things. Because the other side of it too is just so for those who might not know, before this whole reacquisition of the conventions kind of happened by this new Worthwhile Events venture and everything, back in February or March or whatever it was. When I put out that post that I was resigning because I was tapped out and I was just burnt out and everything, that never went away. I am still very tired and very exhausted. And so
he's older now.
It's true.
Yeah. Charlie, why is your beard so great?
It's because of
Brony's made our hair gray.
So you don't have any gray.
Oh.
I mean, he rocks it well.
I don't see
Oh,
any.
But you threw me off.
Sorry.
No, not you, her. So being able to I don't know, I already feel like I'm held to a responsibility of helping making these events happen because you all are counting on us, of course.
Thank you.
But thank you. But at the same time, though, if people were directly supporting me/us, I would feel even more. And I feel like it might kind of reinvigorate me to kind of and I don't mean that to sound bad in a way. I'll only do this if you pay me. I don't want to be like that, But I don't know. I just it's just weird because especially with to be perfectly honest, that's an expensive dog over there. Yeah. Which we did not prepare for and we're not ready for. And
however, the miles we are getting off of her medical bills, man, we are gonna fly anywhere for free.
So no, it's a real serious question. Just how many of you actually think this would be a good idea?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I would love to do this.
Yes.
I would love to be able to support you, especially through something like Patreon, where somebody like me, I am just out of college. I would love to get a sponsor badge. I can't afford that, but I would love to support you in a way on a Patreon where I could just give $5 a month. I would love to be able to do that.
Well, here's another way. Here's another way to think about it. You're giving inspiration to people to follow in your footsteps. Look at what you're doing. So look at it that way. They see what's going on and they can make a better decision. Can I do this? Do I have the mental capacity? Do I have the financial capacity? So you're giving inspiration to us.
Yeah.
So it's you're getting something and you're giving back in return.
Okay.
If you build it, they will come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. People will come, Ray.
Patreon it, people will pay.
Okay. I want to hear from the detractors. Does anyone feel like this is not a good idea for any reason whatsoever? And I really do want to hear from you.
I mean, these people all came here to talk, so they're not going to tell you that.
I want to know.
Well, what are you gonna do on your platform?
So I'll live stream I'll talk about as I'm planning the event, as I'm planning whatever the next convention is. I'll basically live stream kind of talk about
This would be great because then I could get them to follow deadlines. Says the president of the board.
The pants.
So like I say, it probably won't be quite enough detail for somebody to learn how to run their own convention, but it'll be pretty darn close. I feel like it's it'll because obviously I can't talk about contractual things and things that are NDAs and things that I stuff like that. But it'll be a lot of just the making of stuff. So that would be the content. Would just be kind of me live streaming and talking about people about how this all actually comes together.
I told him he should just get an OnlyFans and brush his.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I mean,
He didn't listen to me.
Duluth Trading Company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be a tier. I don't know.
Duluth Trading.
So
They get sponsored a contest next year.
Yeah, they could start to
tell me that this is a bad idea and tell me why. Please, somebody.
What if it's not a bad idea?
Can I? Okay, I'll play devil's advocate
Okay,
here.
please.
Hell yeah.
Because you're not giving a lot of information on what those tiers would be. Would it be things like, let's just take something simple like a panel. Would you have something on how to run a panel? I have friends who run panels. I have friends who run panels poorly. I have friends who run panels and have been doing it for years and do it wonderfully, and nobody ever says anything about that. Would you be able to talk about that kind of thing?
Right now, the bad panel.
Right now,
There's a big difference between unstructured and bad.
No, you're good. The devil's advocate here is that I don't know what you're going to give. I understand that this is at the beginning stages of putting together. You're trying to figure out if this is a good idea. What I can say to that is, it's Patreon. You have to be able to give what you are putting up the tiers for. Are you able to give that? If you're able to give that, then there is no harm in trying. But I'm trying to figure out here, like, something like a panel. That came to my mind. Is that something that you'd be able to talk about on that platform?
Absolutely. Yeah, like just as a very close example to what you're talking about. So so in addition to being the con chair, I'm also the PR director. Like, I deal with the website, I deal with like all the guest announcements, like putting together. Like, I don't do any of the art, to be very clear, but the art is given to me, and I put it together into like the compiled images that go up and everything. And so I deal with a lot of that. And so in that, like, I've learned a lot about like search engine optimization or SEO, and then things about like what makes a good like bio for like a panelist or a community guest or something like that. And I could absolutely trust me, there are good bios that are given to us by like applicants, and there are bad bios that are given to us by applicants just because they don't know how to write a good bio or something like that. And I would love to be able to talk about how best to like put stuff like that together for events like ours that actually publishes that information for people. So yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like you got some good info on this.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of hands up, so I think we need to like put this train back on the tracks. So
We're all 5 seconds.
questions. Coaster.
I had your negative feedback on the Patreon. If you give people like all this information, they might start getting this idea that they can start their own convention with just the information you gave them.
Oh, geez.
I mean, that's cool.
Let
it happen.
That is not my problem.
We've tried to tell people, and we just watch them burn.
Like
Tony Expo.
No negative things about other conventions. Everybody tries really hard and they do a fabulous job.
Yeah. Except
maybe not the fabulous job that we do.
No, it's I will absolutely include in any talks I give about like how to run a convention. My answer will always be don't, because it is very hard. But for those who ignore that first advice, I will then go on to explain, well, if you don't listen to me, please God, do these other things.
I promise you it looks fun, and at 2 a.m. when things go bad, it is not fun.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Give me a second. You spoke of being burnt out. This is me offering a devil's advocate counterpoint to whether or not it's a good idea to have operate a Patreon. I think it would be a good idea, but my counterpoint would be, you spoke of being burnt out in the spring, not able to continue, and then you were convinced to continue. If you were to start a Patreon on the construction and operation of a con, the need to provide for your Patreon follows, would that not possibly exacerbate your burnout, make it worse?
So that's a really good question. And I would say that a good part of the burnout is, and I don't have a way to put this, it doesn't sound potentially bad, but it's like, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of like person hours, it's a lot of just like effort and stress and mental fatigue for X amount of payout. Now, the vast majority of that payout is just the emotional satisfaction of just seeing you all have like the best weekend. And that is the best part of it, but that does not pay bills.
I think
Exactly.
that's the thing. But
That's
also,
fair.
I just think like I know Charlie, and I'm just gonna say that like the last 2 years have been hard because of everything we dealt with like the changeover and what was happening with the other management and everything. So I think once we get over that hump, it'll be a lot more. It'll be a lot easier and a lot more like satisfactory.
Yeah. You have full control of it, so you know what's happening, what's not.
Yeah, it's been a tough couple. I mean, like COVID was hard, and the online conventions were hard, and then the shit hit the fan with our management, and that was hard, and then we launched the non-for-profit, which is absolutely something we are like 100% we believe in, but it's hard.
Yeah.
So it's just been really hard for a couple of years, but I think maybe we're over that hump now. So.
The other side of the hill is inside.
So, but just to tack on to the answer to your question, it's just like I feel like if I got a lot of support, that would tell me. I don't know how to put this in a good way, but that would translate to me that it's just like, oh no, there are people. Like, it's one thing for people to like say like thank you, and we appreciate you, and we what you do means a lot to us, and all of that means a lot, but it's sort of a different thing when people are willing to like put their hard-earned money behind it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that one is worth more than the other, but doing that, I feel like it might just be like an additional layer on top of the verbal and emotional.
Just extra motivation.
It's been
additional motivation.
The expression "put your money where your mouth is" being literal.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
no, not so much that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so what I don't want to do is be, and again, I said this jokingly earlier, I'm not trying to come across like I'm only going to do this if you pay me. Like, that's not at all what this is supposed to be. And so I'm trying very hard to avoid that stigma. It's just a matter of, like, people have said to me, like, that they want to support us more, they want to do things. And what I don't want to do is just, like, take, like, donations. Like, what we have talked about this.
I can summarize it for you.
Okay.
It's like, he wants to be able to run these conventions to do it. He can't have a full-time job, so he doesn't feel like he's contributing to our family. So he just wants to feel like he's contributing more to our family in a financial way versus just me having to like take that all on my shoulders. And this is the way for him to do that.
Potentially. So,
Yeah.
Yes, that's.
If the last few charity auctions have been an indication, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Oh yeah, no. That's very reassuring.
Okay.
As well as how fast sponsorships now sell.
Yeah. All right, we have 3 minutes. We'll go back to questions.
That's people supporting the convention, not necessarily.
Okay,
You're a big part of it.
Alright, quick two-parter. Can you rank your favorite cider fest with no cop-out answers out of the last 1 to 9?
2018.
And
Which was 2018?
Music.
Yes!
Absolutely, 2018 was my least favorite.
Thank you. On a very, very serious note, can we get a sexy firefighter Charlie calendar for 2020?
What?
Sexy Charlie
Firefighter
firefighter?
calendar.
He's not a firefighter.
But
Neither was Hitch.
I'm reminded of my suggestion to go on OnlyFans.
things in your
To be fair,
I don't have to reveal anything, but it can be a little bit.
to be fair, my father was a firefighter. I could borrow his helmet. Nobody wants that.
Absolutely not.
Nothing else. Just the helmet. Beard combing video.
Dan, did you have a question?
Just ASMR, just.
Do you have a favorite winning city?
Oh.
I think for me, the baseball thing, just because I was so excited when the Cubs.
Finally.
Yes, exactly. Listen, you damn Wisconsiners. What's your favorite winning city?
2019. That was my favorite stage we've ever
Which
put
one?
together.
Oh, that was cool too. Yeah.
The temple stage.
Do you know what our least favorite winning city was? I bet you guys can guess.
The online line?
The bomb threat.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yes, we did. Unfortunately,
There are
they were
suspicions,
over.
but no.
We found out who did the first one, but they were overseas, so there's nothing we can do about it. So. Other fortunes, Dash.
Okay, Charlie. So, with going back to your Patreon idea.
Oh my God! Please, let's move on from the Patreon.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
But going on with that, with like signing up for basically directors, staff, as well as panels. I mean, would you go along with the topics of that?
I'm not clear on the question. Sorry.
Like, basically, like if someone's wanting to be in a more of a leadership position.
Like, how do they make that happen?
So
Yeah.
to be very clear, and this might not be what you're asking, but I just want to make this very clear.
Leadership in anything.
I would absolutely separate. Yeah, I would absolutely separate any support of me with any support of the convention. Like they would not be intertwined.
No,
Like,
she's
supporting-
asking like, would you talk about on your Patreon, like if you are a con volunteer that's like regular, but you want to get up to higher level staff, like how would you make that happen?
Oh,
like
I
that.
mean, I could certainly give advice
Yeah,
to
honestly,
people that want to move up in ranks. Yeah.
Just apply for it. Is like the best advice we can give you because we don't just we're not going to saddle somebody with that unless they ask for it because it's a lot.
What I will say,
But if we know if somebody's like applied for it and we know that you're considering it, then we can. If we don't think you're ready, we'll put you in a training program.
Yeah, and if somebody applies for a leadership position and they have not volunteered for us before, we will probably be hesitant to put them in a position just because we're not familiar with them, they're not familiar with our leadership style. So really honestly, to get into like leadership positions with either Ciderfest or Windy City at the very least, just start somewhere, get in the position where we can be familiar with each other and see like, okay, this is, are they good in this role and can we trust them and so on and so forth. And once we have that relationship formed, then them applying for a higher position will make a lot more sense.
Go ahead, Sydney.
Okay, so nobody like the young and the pens, you make so much of them that they ask for years and years. And my project was limited this year. I didn't get them yesterday, but I decided to what the heck, I'll get them today. But when I went to the town still, I found out that the young and the pens were already sold out.
Yeah, everything kind of sold out.
Like why that happened and if we're gonna make any more.
So
people just really loved our con store this year. We just sold out of everything so much faster than any other year. Like literally, like things that we like the pin, like we bought the same amount we buy every year, and like we've had like tons of pins always left over, and then this year they were like gone on the first day.
Yeah.
So
we actually both of us had to give up our own pins to go into.
literally like
Wow.
we're supposed to pull merch for the spirit bags before it gets sold, and there was like a little snafu this year, and so we found out like, oh, we're short 3 pins. So Charlie and I literally were like, here you go.
We're still short a pin.
It's true, we are, yes. If anyone wants to.
So it's impossible to finitely predict how many of something you're going to sell, right? All we can do is go on past experience of previous cons, and at the past several cons, like we've ordered 100 pins, and people have bought maybe 30 or 40 of them. This year it was just a lot more, and there's no explainable reason for that. It just happened.
And we had to be,
So,
we have to be, especially this year, we had to be just super frugal because of everything happening. We couldn't just like buy excess of anything. So, we had to buy like the most limited quantities we could. Not only with everything just going on with us and the transition, but also because like the supply chain issues and materials are so much more expensive and shipping is so much more expensive. So by the time you like add all that in, we had to go with like minimum quantities, and then everybody got very con store happy this year. They also got very cider happy. We like ran out of cider today.
That's what?
P.S. No one's getting free cider today. Heard it here first. However, we will provide you with snacks and soda. So watch for a social media tweet, but like bags of cookies for everybody.
So you guys are all out of cider.
We literally, and the best part of that is we bought the same amount we've bought the last 2 years, and we ran out on Friday. We went and bought another 17 gallons this morning.
What? And it's gone?
We ran out again, so yeah.
Please take the ramen.
There's not going to be cider tomorrow, so now I regret like my opening ceremonies come and like, drink the cider. Like,
I regret
well,
putting
shit,
this-
you drank the cider.
I wish I had some now.
On every location, every single waypoint banner, and I
Please eat
regret
the
that.
ramen.
So
Yeah. Yes, however, there is a plethora of ramen in the cider room because I can't count. So if anybody wanted some ramen, we also get to sell a lot of packs of gum. So if anybody would like to buy a pack of gum at the concert for $1, I had a little oops and there was a 0 added after a number. $150 an extra.
That's so much.
Oh no.
Can you sell some gum?
So if you want minty fresh breath, stop by the console.
We're taking a loss on the gum, just.
Next year.
We sold 3. We sold 3 packs of gum.
I literally ordered 100 packs. Who's next?
Okay, burning questions. Anybody else?
You didn't answer my follow-up question.
What was that? Sorry. Oh, can we order more? Was that the follow-up question?
Yeah.
No, it's because whenever you order anything, there's a minimum quantity. So like with lanyards, pins, anything like that, you have to order at least like 100 typically.
Yeah.
And so like to satisfy like the maybe 20 or so people that want one, we would still have to order 100, and that would become unfeasible. So.
What is the lesson that we learned in capitalism today? Sell your shit from this convention online and make a lot of money.
Yeah, pretty much.
eBay.
Now that being said, however, I think there actually might be a pack of. I just saw your figment. Oh my god, it's adorable. Sorry, distracted. I think there actually might be a pack of the con lanyards in operations from when we were putting together the sponsor bags. So there might
So
be.
be in line early tomorrow at the concert.
So if you're looking for a lanyard at least, but pins is definitely not.
Yeah.
When people start throwing elbows, you turn. Yes,
LSU wins
question.
in overtime.
Oh my gosh. One thing that I have noticed, especially with this convention, is the amount of support that you get locally. Like, I have met so many people that are within this region that come not only to this convention, but also Winnie City. If you don't mind elaborating, from someone who does run local meetups, the brony scene in this region, your opinion of it, because to me, it honestly feels amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very thankful for it, for sure. There's certainly a lot of people that come to both Ciderfest and Winnie City that are from the local area, and you know, it's hard to, you know, I'm not sure entirely. Thank you so much. I'll take one. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's wild because like.
There's a.
I think
this one.
that was mine. I took that bite. I think we thought like these were all the bronies, right? And then we went to BabsCon this year, and we were like, "Who are all these bronies?" Like, yeah, right? You were there.
Yeah.
We didn't know anybody. Like, not a single person. Like, I thought I knew like the majority of the fandom because at our conventions it's like the same. You know, even MSP when we did that, Winnie City Ciderfest, like you see like 75% the same faces, right? Like,
Yeah.
you guys are like our family. Like we can pick you out and be like, oh. But like, we went to HarmonyCon and then we went to Babs this year, which we usually can't go to other conventions because of my job. But literally at BabsCon, we were like so bored because we were like, we don't know any of these people. We're not working and we don't know anybody, so we just sat in the lobby with you and Vinny and just drank a lot because we were like, we have no friends here. So yeah, I think that was wild to me. Like, oh my god, this fandom is like so much bigger than I thought because I thought you were all of them, but there's like so many more of you out there in the States. Yeah, that's wild. But we have such a cool core group in the Midwest. I mean, like, Midwesterners are like where it's at. Like, I travel a lot for work, and like, ain't nobody like a Midwesterner. So
Winter still sucks, but yeah.
Yeah. But we're hardy because of it. So I mean, like, I think there's a special place in our heart for like the bronies here, just because we've like grown up with you guys, and you know we've known you for so long, and so many of you are like our friends now. Like, yeah. What?
You kidnapped me.
I mean, that's true. We do kidnap. We do actually do a lot. Yeah. Says our lawyer. Our lawyer's back there like, please don't use the term kidnapping in public.
I think possibly the last question.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering, it's kind of like going back on the Patreon thing. Yes, I'm sorry, I love that question. But you still do the Metal Earth thing stuff?
Yeah,
building it?
well, I tried to.
Have you ever thought about maybe building that on camera, like for your Patreon idea?
So-
You know, do that and then sell what you make to
Well,
viewers too, or like a prize to a viewer to a Patreon, like people subscribe to your Patreon.
So that's
they could win something you built.
So that's a really interesting idea. I hadn't considered. So I had considered that people there's certainly a section of people that are very interested and supportive of like those stupid little tiny metal models that I make. If you follow me on social media, you know what I'm talking about. But there's these little tiny like sheet metal models that like snip out with like pliers and they're tiny and they're very cool. I love putting them together. The Metal Earth models. I've thought that maybe just as like one of the tiers, like somehow structuring that into things, like people could say like what they want to support me on, and just like I want to support you on cons, I want to support you on these models, I want to just support your dog, and just like whatever it is. And so like kind of based on the various tiers would kind of tell me what kind of content people would want to see, and so based on that I would say okay, yeah, people want to like see me like put these models together and kind of learn how to do it themselves, and so that has certainly been a part of it. Giving those models away to other people is not something I had considered. I'm not opposed to the idea, but I am very attached to the models I put togetger. So
I wouldn't be exactly like giving like one to everybody. But
Sure, okay.
Like
Hey,
a
Dash.
prize,
Keep here.
like you know.
What I do?
Volunteer to help. Like do a random drawing of them.
I could see doing that from time to time. Yeah, for sure.
Well, not all of them, but you know, like
It's an interesting idea. If that's what people wanted, then I would certainly consider that for sure.
Yeah.
She's just like breathing really funny. Is she drinking?
I don't know. That's why I was pointing
Will you
at.
like just?
So I think that's probably our time. I just want to thank everybody for. Oh yes, one more.
Bucks just won.
What?
Hooray, Bucks!
Oh yeah, LSU Milwaukee. Oh yeah, LSU beat Bama for all you college football fans.
Yay, sports ball!
Go Chase Elliott.
Sports. Oh, you'll be good at them.
So, just want to thank everybody for coming out. We really appreciate you. Please enjoy the rest of Ciderfest and have a great rest of your evening. And